the Jets last night, to me, had an opportunity to keep their season going and strong. We talked about this yesterday for a few minutes, where you win last night, you're 5-3, and you somehow have the same record as the Cowboys, the Niners, the Bengals, all these teams that are playoff bound.
Right.
You lose, you're 4-4, and you're in that, hodgepodge, as my mom would say, hodgepodge of rando 500 teams.
They played like doo-doo pie, to put it nicely. Lost to the Chargers 27-6. Now, the question's simple. We know what they need to do, right? We see the progress that Aaron Rodgers is making. We know that he was joking when he said at the game yesterday, I'll be back in a few weeks. He already admitted he was joking about that. It's going to take a little longer, but he is making significant progress. So what they need to do is they need to win and buy some time until he's ready. So the question based on that.
This is like the worst waiting game of all time. It's like you're waiting at the DMV in a doctor's office. Like people just sitting around waiting impatiently, like, what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? Do you think it's even going to matter, Covino?
Now I'm trying to think of the actual worst waiting situation. Like test results for, like, I don't know, an STD or something. That's,
Doc, I'm itching.
I'm trying to think of the actual worst. But, yeah, it sucks. So they're trying to just buy some time in hopes that he comes back and they're in great position. So they lose last night, and they play like ass streaks. Like, they really look bad. They can't even score. And, Danny G, as you pointed out, so obvious and evident that it's the offensive line here. It's offensive.
Atrocious.
Their O-line is atrocious, like Scotty Brocious' hairline. And
what did Scotty Brocious do to deserve that one?
I said his hairline. I said nothing about his gameplay.
That's rough.
Anyway, it was atrocious. It's the only thing that rhymed.
I got to do him dirty like
now, the question here, Fox Sports Radio Nation, based on everything you saw and based on the hopes that you have to see Aaron Rodgers come back, can the Jets stay alive? Is it realistic? Is it realistic at all? I think it's realistic that Aaron Rodgers can come back. I do. Well, I think it's crazy, but I think it's realistic.
We heard him after the game last night with his little, a few weeks away. Like, he was chopping it up with some of the players. And here's what Aaron Rodgers said.
I didn't realize that was going to get caught there. I mean, obviously that was said with a little tongue-in-cheek there. It'd be nice to be able to be back in a couple weeks. That's probably not anywhere near a realistic timeline.
Now, that was on the McAfee show.
But previously,
they have to get credit. They're paying millions.
He hinted at December 28th on his social media. So I do think it's realistic that he's able to come back just based on his progress. I mean, we've never seen anything like it before. But can the Jets stay alive until then? And where do they have to be for it to even matter?
Well, funny you should ask. The Jets are 4-4. Now, if you look at the AFC, it's crowded. It's crowded in the middle, Danny G. If you look at the current playoff picture, you got teams like Kansas City, Baltimore, Jacksonville, and right now Miami sits above the AFC East. After that, you got a few 5-3 teams where the Jets would have been had they found a way to win last night. That was the whole point.
Yeah, a lot of people picked them to win. A lot of the experts said they were going to win.
As of right now, you got the Steelers at 5-3, the Browns at 5-3, Cincinnati at 5-3. I know they're going to beat each other up in that tough AFC North. I just named the whole division. They're all good. It's the best division in football. Now, after that, you got Buffalo. Can you picture a postseason without the Bills? You assume at some point they'll get a little hot, right? Can you see a Josh Allen in this playoffs? No. So your windows are closing. Houston's 4-4. The Chargers are now 4-4. The Jets are 4-4. Then you got teams like Indy and your Raiders, Danny G, that are 4-5, that are a hot streak away from being relevant. So the Jets did themselves wrong last night.
And at that point, it would be pointless for Aaron Rodgers to make a return and risk getting injured again, or maybe he's not completely healed or as healed as he should be. And then it makes you think, is he just doing that to keep the team positive? Because if they even think in the back of their mind that there's a chance that he comes back, aren't they playing a little harder for that chance to compete in the playoffs? Right? If he does admit, think about it from that perspective.
You and I butt heads on this all the time. They're playing hard right now.
If you think that added motivation doesn't matter, then I don't agree with you. Period. All right, we're not the same guy.
Because I don't agree with you. If you don't think they were
added motivation always matters.
If you don't think they were trying last night, Every week, Robert Saleh is probably like, pulls him aside each one. Hey, let's put the effort in. We're waiting for Aaron. They know what's at stake. They know.
Yeah, but if they know that if there's a chance, I think they play with the motivation knowing that we're still in this.
And
if there's no chance of him coming back, then it feels like the season is completely over. I don't know how you don't see the difference.
There is such parity in the AFC. Parity, my favorite word. Such equal talent in the AFC. So many great teams. As of right now, you could argue the only team that's like done, New England Patriots. They're 2-7. Other than that, even Denver and Tennessee are 3-5. That's you win 3 in a row, you're 6-5, and
the Giants might be done too.
In the NFC. Oh yeah, no, in the NFC.
Oh yeah, AFC.
In the NFC, yeah, Giants, Chicago, Carolina, Arizona. There's a bunch of bunk teams in the NFC, but the AFC, that's what I'm saying. Right. It's so crowded in that 3-5, 5-3 area that every game matters so much. And I know, Prophet, you had a question. What did you want to bring up?
Yeah, two things. First off, number one, I do know the Aaron Rodgers quote. He also said it'd be a couple of fortnights, which maybe we don't need to take that as a timeline. Maybe that's just what he really wants to play right now. New season is out.
Could be.
New season's out. I don't know, like if he's into that. The bigger question is, you guys brought up the offensive line earlier as the big Achilles heel for this Jets team right now. But you're talking about a quarterback coming back from an Achilles injury itself, and suddenly he's going to have to start again behind that offensive line.
Right, makes
like
no
the
sense.
hope is that he's going to come back and then get slammed, sacked
Exactly.
6 times again.
You know what? Let me give you a Colin Cowherd analogy here on Covino and Rich.
Yeah, we talked about this before the show.
Since we love the herd,
Are you going to do his impression?
yeah. Stars attract stars.
Stars attract other stars.
All right, let me give you my best Colin since we admire them.
Okay.
He's a dude. Aaron Rodgers
Is a dude's dude.
is a flat screen TV, an 85-incher.
Oh, nice.
Aaron Rodgers
It's good size.
is a flat screen.
Expensive.
Yeah, expensive.
Not too much, like 1,500.
Impressive.
Now the
Kind of an
offense,
older flat screen.
No,
at this point.
he's the top of the.
he's top of the line.
top of the line in
flat.
this analogy.
Top of the line flat screen.
Like
Aaron Rodgers.
Crystal LED. I don't even know what it is
LED
anymore.
curved.
I don't know
Now,
what's expensive anymore.
the offensive line is a cheap bracket. You got a cheap bracket for the best flat screen. That's a Cowherd analogy, but it's true though.
So
you went out.
You got a cheap bracket.
Aaron
to
Rodgers
protect this expensive television.
You bought the cheapest $20.
Does that make so when the TV breaks, that makes Zach Wilson the TV from your daughter's bedroom?
Yeah, Zach Wilson's
Right?
Wilson's the old TV
So
that's
you
not
got to
even
be the Colin. So when
Yeah.
when the expensive TV falls off this cheap bracket and breaks,
Yeah.
Zach Wilson is that TV in your spare bedroom that you bring out.
that you're using Roku on.
Do we screw it into the studs? I'm confused.
So
Who put this TV up?
the point is,
TaskRabbit? What's going on?
you're right on, Prophet, in that. So if Aaron Rodgers does come back, and Danny, you and I were talking about this before the show, it's not like he's coming back to some 1990s Cowboys offensive line that just dominates. He's not coming back to a situation where he feels safe. He's coming back to a situation where Zach Wilson at times. You see Zach Wilson? There's times where the pocket starts to just break and he just falls. Like he gives up.
Yeah. Yeah, some people are excited just watching Aaron Rodgers walk around right now. And I'm like, wait a second. He's got to escape the pocket. So if he plays at all in the regular season, it would be that final game at New England, which is, I think, is January 7th, just to get his timing back and hopefully play in a wild card game.
Danny,
that's still a long shot.
No, my hopes are sooner than that. Now, and I'll explain in a second. But I'd like to spread out the love around here. Our buddy Jay Stu from the Gottlieb Show. I think it's just that I talk to everyone around here. Is that what it is?
You
Am I
don't
just
stop talking,
yappy?
period. This guy's so annoying. He doesn't even know. I'm walking up to the studio. He's talking to some yoga woman. And the yoga woman's like, "Can you leave me alone, sir? Thanks." I'm like, this guy will talk to anyone that's willing to listen.
I'm trying to get to class.
She was intrigued by our small talk.
Oh, I'm sure
For the
she
record.
was.
She was just afraid.
Back to my thought.
Jay Stu.
Jay Stu.
Jay Stu.
He's like, fans are fascinated by this guy doing a quick two-step, throwing 40-yard passes. It's Aaron Rodgers. That's like, an NBA player could be taking warm-ups, hitting threes. Like, you playing tonight? No, my leg. Just because Aaron Rodgers, who gets paid and he has one of the best arms in NFL history because he's casually throwing darts.
And he's
Doesn't-
strutting around, though. He's strutting around.
He is strutting
He's
around.
strutting around because I'm trying to see if there's any limp going on.
I'm going to call you out for a second because I said this exact same thing to you earlier today, and you laughed in my face.
Oh, man.
On our Patreon show, I said this to you,
man.
and you laughed in my face.
Spot is
But Jay Stu
talking
says it.
smack.
He's got the credibility,
Well,
so
that
it
does
makes
matter.
sense.
Yeah.
What did Yoga
Source
Girl
matters.
say about Aaron Rodgers?
You have credibility in yoga. I'll give you that.
What'd she say?
Source matters.
Source matters.
Jay Stu.
Source matters.
Oh, yeah, please. People listen to you every day.
Source matters. You know nothing about Aaron Rodgers. So
I know
Aaron Rodgers
I know
throwing
enough
a-
about the human condition to know, to see someone and know
All right,
that
break it down, Spot. I'll give you the platform. Go ahead.
please.
Fox Sports Radio. Tell us your knowledge of Aaron
Stars.
Rodgers and the quarterback position.
I'm just saying that healing, I've healed, and you may appear to be in tip-top condition, but you're slow to heal. The body takes
not
a
in
long
game
time.
day
You're not in
ready.
game day shape.
Right.
I think that's just common sense. You don't need to be an expert.
Well, look
at
on
sports
social
to know
media.
that.
Look on social media, dimwit.
Oh yeah, that's where all the experts are.
No, but yeah, game day
Social
condition
media.
is a whole
Peop-
other
people
Learned that
level.
the past couple of years.
And he can't wear those, Herman Munster shoes that he's wearing on the sideline.
was wearing, like,
during the game.
He was wearing like corrective Joe Montana shoes.
Yeah, he was. He was wearing
Of
something.
course, he was dancing around.
If you look at the schedule, well, he wasn't dancing, Spot. He's not there yet. If you look at the schedule, though,
He's wearing those dad grilling sneakers.
Yeah.
you got to ask yourself, what would the Jets need to do
Cloud foam.
to stay afloat? And Danny, I'm sorry to tell you,
6-6, Rich.
it starts with your Raiders, and I think the Raiders are going to feast defensively on Zach Wilson.
I think Max Crosby was watching the game last night, licking his chops.
Oh, he's got a bib on right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
watching
Oh,
all of those sacks.
yeah. Oh, he's rubbing his hands together like a fly. Like, yeah, I can't wait.
He broke out his barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
he's ready
you
to
know what?
feast.
I actually agree with that. So, what do the Jets have to do? The question here, Fox Sports Radio Nation, is: can the Jets stay alive? What do they actually have to do to have it even make sense at all for Rodgers to push it to be playing this season?
But you know what?
Raiders
the
are
more,
the next stop. So,
the more we're talking about it, though.
yeah. The more we're talking
no.
about it, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, the more-
I think Rodgers could be ready, but then it won't be worth it,
Yeah.
so he won't play.
I think the more we're talking about this whole Jets thing, the original thought was, can the Jets stay alive?
Yeah.
And then the question is, well, even if they could,
Is it worth it?
as Troy Aikman pointed out last night, even, let me tell you, I don't even know if I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be better than Zach Wilson, but I don't know what much more he could do. Like, you watch that game last night, and you're like, could Aaron
he did
Rodgers
say
have
that.
really lit it up? Like, yes, better than Zach Wilson.
We'll get him next year.
So
It's sad.
We'll get him next year.
look at the next 4 games, Danny. If they somehow sneak past your Raiders, and I don't think they will, I think the Raiders got a little mojo going right now.
It would have been really good if Troy Aikman had that weak bracket analogy to throw into the mix.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
You should give Jay Stu a call.
On
He's got
the
good
other-
ideas.
Okay,
Rich, on
sorry,
the other
Adam
side of the
Schefter. I mean
ball?
Spot.
Rich, on the other side of the ball,
Yeah.
there'll be a true test for Aiden O'Connell because the Jets do have a really good defense, and they also get to go against a rookie quarterback in O'Connell. So it's going to be a close game.
Could
Well,
I
that's
tell
what makes it fun. If you get anything out of this show, yeah, I hope you get more reason to tune in. Like, that's what makes it a fun game. now.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
is
all
going
right.
to be a great one.
You make a great point there, Danny G.
And you
got
know
a
what?
young rookie quarterback against a solid D. I'm excited about that.
Shaky O-line with a good
Shaky
Raider
O-line,
D-line right now.
Where it sort of matters if they win. You got the Raiders storyline. They're rallying around Antonio Pierce, and there's a whole other story about their practice squad players we're going to get to. That team's fired up, so they might annihilate the Jets.
What
We don't know.
What would the Jets need to do? I think if you're realistically talking about Aaron Rodgers, who, as Covino pointed out, cryptically put out there 12-28, which would be against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
That leaves them 1, 2. I mean, that's the last 2 games of the year, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'd have to beat the Raiders, Danny. If they don't beat the Raiders, it's hopeless because then they play the Bills, the Dolphins twice. They could beat the Falcons. They play the Texans, which, C.J. Stroud looks,
Yeah,
hella
right.
good right now.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm just saying the Jets last night losing in such a miserable fashion too. All my Jet fan friends were texting me like, I hate this team more than the Mets. The Jets really got everyone excited for no good reason. I
They're
think
really
this
not
year.
as bad as the Giants, though, if you're going to talk about New York teams.
Yeah. But
New York
really,
teams are so miserable right now. That's a whole other discussion. I know we've been saying it, but when you really look at the big picture,
and everyone's
the
happy
Mets
about
and
it.
the
You
Yankees,
know what? We're
the
not
Jets and the Giants, like the biggest teams or should have been the biggest teams out there stink so bad.
That'll be all different if Tommy DeVito wins one game for the Italian Americans across America.
That'd be great. Free gabagool.
Happy Tommy DeVito Day.
Free gabagool for
free
everybody.
fresh mozzarella.
Yeah, that'd be great.